During my time as the chief counsel, I did a study of my workforce, which had about 60 lawyers and 40 staff. And to my amazement and to my personal growth, I learned that 98% of those people came to work every day trying to do the best that they could. I carried that thought with me when I became the deputy to the commanding general, and that's the way I saw the world. The realization is the soldier was our bottom line, and that's what we're about. After the wall came down in Germany, there was a big cry for the peace dividend. That resulted in Cecom getting large reductions in personnel, and we had to let people go. So that job fell on me as the deputy, and one of the women that worked for me in legal as a law clerk, and who was there 6 weeks before she goes out the door, she said, "Mr. Ferlise, this is important, and I'm going to do it every day till my last very minute on duty." And I was just taken with that, you know. There were a lot of people that could have been kicking the furniture and saying, "Boy, this is the thanks I get." No. Linda was representative in my mind of the kind of people that we have. And you know, they're not all generals, they're across the workforce. The radio's frequency would change 150 times a second, which was unbelievable. The enemy could not. So when you talk about a fond memory, many years later, as the deputy in 1993, I visited Korea, and the first unit equipped with that radio was the unit on the DMZ, and there was a Colonel Kelly there, and he got the first radios. And I said, "Well, how do you like the radios?" He said, "Sir, this is the first time those SOBs can't hear what we're saying." And he loved it. I took that back to the people that worked for me. How did that radio get there? Thousands of people working contracts, depots, everything to make it happen. But somewhere along the line, you start to realize it's not just about the pay. It's about taking care of soldiers. And from my experience going to the field many times, I've seen the impact of that. I saw the results of Firefinder. The Iraqis wouldn't shoot at us because they knew Firefinder would kill them instantly. And Firefinder could track 100 incoming shells and exactly determine where they came from. The realization is the soldier was our bottom line, and that's what we're about. One of the things I would have changed was I was, let me say, a very forceful person. If you didn't do what I told you to do, there was going to be trouble. There were two things that I didn't insist on with one director, and I regret it to this day. That director at the time, this is 1993, I said, "I want you to develop a collision avoidance system for helicopters. Every 1 to 2 years, we lose 2 crews and 2 aircraft because they collide." And I let him get off of that hook. The second thing I told him to do is to figure out how to equip UAVs, which were just starting to become popular, with a Javelin missile. "Oh no, we can't do that, we're doing groundwork." Well, AMCOM did it, but it was a Hellfire missile. And you hear about these drones taking out things. I'm talking 1993. We could have been out in front on that. And I just, so I shouldn't have taken no for an answer. "9/11, we were about 30 miles from ground zero. The CG had the presence of mind to call us all together and say, what can we do? We had a program that could track cell phones in 2001. We wanted to get that equipment up to the ground zero and see where the cell phones are. And they did, and we found 250 cell phones in that pile. And then other engineers developed a device, a small infrared camera that our engineers figured out how to stick into that pile to see it would see if you're alive. It would see the heat from your body. But, you know, those are the people I worked with. You know, and, some of them were generals, some of them were clerks. But they were focused on taking care of warfighters. And I'm saying, boy, am I proud of my people.